Back out live in Pine Top Lakeside.
Yep. Up at the orchard at Charlie
Ball's kind of happening this morning.
Yeah, it is. Bloodies all around for everyone. Nothing like a liquid breakfast.
All right. Hey, yeah, one of the things people love to do up in the mountains is fish.
Yeah.
Right? And those fish have to come from somewhere.
Yeah, and did you know that a lot of the trout comes from a hatchery just down the road, kind of towards Payson?
Right.
So it's called the Tonto Creek Hatchery, and our photojournalist, Tom Fergus, showed us around. Watch.
At the base of the Mogollon Rim, about 20 miles east of Payson, is the Tonto Creek Fish Hatchery. They've been raising fish at the headwaters of the Tonto Creek since 1938.
Trout is what it's all about, and we're here in the Visitors Center. And look who I got with me, the pride of Prescott, Bryce Sisson. He's the hatchery manager now. This is a really cool Visitors Center, but it's more than just seeing a couple of fish on the wall. You do a lot of education in here, don't you?
We do. We receive over 50,000 visitors a year here at Tonto Hatchery. We provide a lot of guided tours for school groups, youth groups, things like that.
Plenty of hatchery history here, and it looks over the indoor tanks where the growing process begins.
One of the cool things about the Visitors Center, some of these record trout and fish that they have up on the wall. And check out this brown trout over here. Now, Bryce, you have a little story behind this one, don't you?
I do. I actually caught that fish when I was a senior in high school.
No way.
17 years old.
What was it like bringing that thing in?
It was a fight. It took about 15 minutes just pull and drag the whole time.
I love it.
As the Tonto Creek water flows through the hatchery, it all begins here, indoors, where the youngest fish are. The public aren't allowed in this area, but let me show you around. The littlest fellas are chilling on the bottom of the tank until they digest the yolk sac they were born with. Once they shed that, they're on the move.
So we saw the babies. Now, what are we looking at? The toddlers? What are these?
These are our swim-up trout here. They're about 6 weeks old.
Oh, look at how tiny they are. Now, I saw this is what you're feeding them. What am I looking at here?
That's starter trout feed. It's about like a powder, and it makes them grow really fast.
Yeah, make them fat boys out of all of them.
Next size up, the fingerlings. They're about a year away from heading outside.
And after they get big enough, they move them out here to the raceways. And these raceways are set up like a river, the natural habitat of a trout, where one leads to the other as it goes downhill. And eventually they end up down at the bottom in the show pond.
Of course, trout love living in creeks and lakes as well, but the hatchery won't release any of these babies until they're at least 10 inches long or until they weigh at least 2/3 of a pound.
But I'll take down your fishing pole and meet me at the Fishin Hole.
And while there's no fishing allowed on the 50-acre property, there's plenty of feeding going on.
Now, this is where it really comes to life, Bryce. These are awesome. What kind of fish are these? How many do you get in a raceway?
These are our catchable rainbow trout. They're about 10,000 in each raceway.
Yeah, and now what are you feeding them?
We feed them a pelleted commercial trout feed. It's high protein, and we get the best growth with it.
For 25 cents, you can grab a handful and feed the fish yourself. You talk about a feeding frenzy. The show pond are where the big hogs hang out, the ones with shoulders. Plenty 10-pounders in here, with the biggest being about 15 pounds.
I think they know I'm over here.
So I grabbed a net and tried to snag one. No luck.
Nothing.
So we cheated and tossed a little food in there, and boom!
Hey, I got one. I got two.
From the nursery to the raceways to the show pond, the hatchery produces 25 tons of fish a year. And hopefully this summer, you can feel the thrill of catching one. At the Tonto Creek Fish Hatchery just outside of Payson, I'm Tom Fergus, Fox 10 Arizona Morning.
Oh, love that.
I think Tom was having some fun.
I think so.
Right?
So the hatchery is free. It's open daily. The Tonto Creek flows right past Coles Ranch all the way to Roosevelt Lake.
Right?
That's a long way.
That is a long way.
Right?
Yeah, beautiful fish though.
Yeah.
That's the thing, when you fish, you pull them out, you're just like, yeah, look what I got, and then you let them go back.
There you go.